Good morning, students. And today we are going to start the revision of the chapter How Do Organisms Reproduce? So I am Sonali Kelkar from City International School, and we are going to do the revision today, right? So let's start with the revision. Question number one. Would a planera cut vertically into two halves, regenerate into two individuals? Complete the given figure D and E by indicating the regeneration region, right? So we know that planera has a power of regeneration because these are the special type of tissues which are present in the planaria, which is responsible for the regeneration or producing the whole organism even from a very small piece of the body, right? So here you can see the D and the E. These are the two figures where half of the planaria is there. That means half of the planaria is cut. Now the other half will be made, right? It will be produced by the planaria. So you have to complete the figure in according to the question, right? Here also the another half will be produced. It will get regenerate, okay? And you will get another whole organism, that is planaria, from half of the organism, right? So this is a power of regeneration, which is also considered as a reproduction, because in a reproduction the whole organism is produced. So even in regeneration the whole organism is produced. So it is a asexual type of regeneration, asexual type of reproduction. So let's see the answer. Planaria possess great power of regeneration. Thus, if the body is cut into two vertical halves, each piece of the body of planaria grows into a complete individual. This is the diagram that you have to draw. Okay. So here you can see the half, this half of the diagram, right? There you have to draw this half of the diagram. Here in the E you have to draw the right hand side of the diagram, and to show that from one part of the organism, from one half of the organism, you got the whole organism. Okay, so this is what about this answer. Now question number two, colonies of yeast fail to multiply in water but multiply in sugar solution. Give one reason for this. As we know that water has only mineral present in it, but a sugar solution is a source of energy. It is a source of glucose, and we know that glucose is a very important ingredient for the respiration, right? Cellular respiration is a process in which energy is generated by breaking down of glucose, right? So definitely sugar will be a source of substratum, a source of energy. So they will go yeast will grow more in sugar solution, and they won't grow in water because there is no such source of energy present in water. Here we can see the answer. Water does not serve as a source of all required nutrients necessary for the growth and reproduction of yeast cell. So on the other hand, sugar solution serves as a source of organic compound and cellular respiration. What is an organic compound? Glucose is an organic compound. I have told you about the cellular respiration. This glucose is broken down into similar compounds, and that is a source of respiration, that is the energy. Okay. So the energy is released needed for reproduction. So that is why yeast colonies do not multiply in water, but they do so in sugar solution. Now coming to the next question, why does bread mold grow profusely on a moist slice of bread rather than on a dry slice of bread? Here you can see the picture of structure of rhizopus, right? So the rhizopus, that is a bread mold, it grows in a bread slide which is moist, because this moisture which is present in the bread slide will definitely helps to dissolve the components of bread, and this can easily be absorbed and then easily be broken down by the yeast. So water or the moisture is very important rather than a dry slice. Here, wet dump substratum with supply of nutrients is favored by rhizopus for spore germination. So for the spores to germinate, it requires a substratum. Substratum is a medium. What is substratum? It is a medium. Okay, here the bread is a medium. What is a bread? It is made up of starch, right? So starch cannot be digested by rhizopus. It has to mix with water, so it becomes soluble, and then it can be digested by rhizopus. So a substratum with supply of nutrients is favored by rhizopus for spore germination. Spores remain dormant. Okay, dormant means they are inactive. They are not active. Okay, so till they come in contact with moist surface, they are as good as dead. But as soon as they come in contact with a favorable environment, they start growing, right? So hence spores of bread mold germinate on moist bread, serving a source of moisture and nutrients, right? So moisture is very important because it is a medium for the nutrient to get dissolved, and then it can be absorbed by the rhizopus. On the other hand, dry bread does not provide moisture needed for spore germination and growth of hyphae. So for spore germination and the growth of hyphae, moisture is very, very important. Now coming to the next question, in a tobacco plant, the the male gamete has 24 chromosome, right? It should be male, M-A-L-E. Okay, male gamete. Now let's take this as a male gamete. Fine, this is a male gamete. Now it has 24 chromosomes. What is the number of chromosome in the female gamete? Okay, let's take it as a female gamete. Okay, what is the number of chromosome in the female gamete? We have to find out. What is the number of chromosome in the zygote? We know that male and female gamete, they are haploid in nature and they have same number of chromosome. It has to be the same number of chromosome, male and female. So if the male has 24 number of chromosome, then female gamete will also have 24 number of chromosomes, right? So I'll here write 24 number of chromosome, right? And when gametes have 24 number of chromosome, after they fuse together, they form zygote, right? So zygote will have addition of the chromosome, the sum total of the chromosome in male and female gamete. Then what is the addition of 24 and 24? It is 48. So zygote will have 48 number of chromosome. Here is the answer. Now coming to the question number 5. What are the benefits of using mechanical barriers during sexual act? So first of all, mechanical barriers. So they by using mechanical barriers, for example, in male condom and in female it's diaphragm, right? So these are the mechanical barriers which won't allow male sperm to meet the female egg. So this is the very important work of mechanical barrier, function of mechanical barrier. Secondly, condom, as we know that condom is a barrier that should be used during copulation, coming in sexual contact with your partner or some other partner. So it can be avoided to get in contact with the virus that causes different diseases, and even the bacteria that also causes different STD, sexually transmitted diseases, right? So to avoid unwanted pregnancy, then to get rid of or to avoid any kind of sexual transmitted diseases, mechanical barrier is very useful. So it serves as a barrier to prevent arrival of sperm to egg and thus avoid unwanted pregnancy. It also protects a person from sexual transmitted diseases. Now coming to the next question, what are sexually transmitted diseases, and mention the way to prevent them. We know that sexually transmitted diseases such as AIDS caused by HIV virus, then syphilis and gonorrhea that is caused by bacteria. Okay, they are caused due to unsafe sex, and they can also be caused due to having sex with many partners. So this can be avoided. We can prevent them by using safe sex, that is, we can, just now we have discussed, by using condom, okay, by using diaphragm, and by having a healthy hygienic condition, that is also very important. So let's see the answer. Okay, a disease which can be transmitted through sexual contact is called sexually transmitted diseases, and the short form is STD. So these include bacterial infection, gonorrhea, syphilis, and viral infection, herpes and AIDS, right? Then lack of hygiene is usually a major factor in providing conditions to spread of STDs, right? Then, but unprotected sex with multiple and unknown partner, that is also very dangerous, and that can cause STD, sexually transmitted diseases. Now the second part mention the way to prevent them. So one has to be faithful with the life partner, right? Avoid sexual contact with unknown person, use condom using during sexual intercourse, and maintain personal hygiene. Now coming to the seventh question, budding as seen in Hydra is a type of sexual or asexual reproduction. We know that it is a asexual reproduction or asexual reproduction because there is no two partners, there is only one organism which is giving rise to the different different or many numbers of progeny, right? So give reason for your answer, and how is the process differ from fusion. Okay, let's see the hydra, right? Here we can see the hydra. This is, you can see a tiny bump growing from an organism, from a mature hydra, okay, from a parent, as you can see. Then uh, this hydra is getting developed. Now you can see the size has increased, okay, this is getting developed. Then it is become like a bud, okay, now it is a bud grow. Now this organism, okay, the baby hydra, this has become adult now, okay. Then when it becomes adult, when it becomes fully mature, it itself get detached or it becomes independent, right? And it will grow, and again it will become a one individual, okay. So one organism or individual organism, that also you can say. So this is about hydra. And budding, budding in hydra is a type of asexual reproduction, as we have discussed. In hydra, some actively, now what are present here, they are actively dividing cells, okay, which divide continuously to form an outgrowth projection called bud. Okay, we have seen the bud over here, this is bud, right? Now this bud will grow, it will develop, and it will become mature, and once it get mature, it get detached, right? Here we can see it is a mature bud. This one is a mature bud. This is MUTURE. And a bud grows and separates from the parent after getting maturity. In budding, the new individual develops from parent. Now what is difference between the budding and fission? In budding, new individual develop from a parent as an extra growth, whereas in fission, parent's body divide from identical daughter cell. The parent's body divide to form to form FORM to form, okay, identical daughter cell. And where we can see fission can be seen in amoeba, right? Now this, you can see that the body is elongated, nucleus is also getting elongated, then the body will divide, and then nucleus will also divide and get into the other body. So we can see that from a one single parent, now we are getting a two daughter cells. Here we can see there is a one bud, one mature bud is arising from a parent cell. Here the parent itself is dividing into two identical daughter cells, right? This is found in amoeba. Explain the term regeneration as used in relation to reproduction of organism. Describe briefly how regeneration is carried out in a multicellular organism like Hydra. We know that regeneration is carried out in Hydra as well as in Planera. Now even in regeneration, here you can see the regeneration in Hydra. Okay, if I cut a single part of a Hydra, we'll see this part will develop into an individual, and this will also develop into an individual. These two individual have been developed from the two parts of Hydra, right? And then they get mature. So this is what is a regeneration. So regeneration is used in relation to reproduction, because why do we call as a reproductive process? Because one whole living organism is formed by this process. Okay, now describe briefly how regeneration carried out in a multicellular organism like Hydra. Now in Hydra and in Planaria, we have already discussed. Hydra we have discussed about the budding. So in Hydra, as you can see, there are two things responsible for reproduction. So there are two types of reproduction, that is budding and regeneration. Now regeneration in multicellular organism, it is carried out by specialized cell. Okay, this is also carried out by specialized cell. When Hydra is cut or broken into many pieces, these specialized cells proliferate, they divide and make large number of cells. From this mass of cells, different cells undergo changes to become various cell types and tissue. It means if they have a mass number of cells, there are different type of cell, mass number of cells, then later on these cells will get divide and they will do one special type of function. So these cells will get differentiate and they will perform a different type of function. Now coming to the next question, name the parts A, B and C shown in the figure, shown in the following diagram, and state one function for each. Okay, so this has been asked in CBSE 2016. So let's do this. Here A, so I think you can make out what is A. A is anther. A is anther. Now B, actually this B is this one, right? Okay, this one. This is what is B. I'll just now what is this? What is this? This is what is style. Okay, this is style. Style is a part of female reproductive organ. Now this is ovary. Right, student? Now what is the function of anther? Anther is it is an organ where you find pollen, right? Okay, so it bears pollen. Formation of pollen can be said. Okay, it bears pollen, or it for formation of pollen is responsible. It is done in anther. Style, it lifting stigma to receive pollen. So if you see the other end of the style, you can see this is the stigma, okay, which is lifted by the style. So this style is little bit elongated. Okay, the stigma is at the top of the style so that pollen grain can fall on the stigma and germination of pollen grains can take place, right? So lifting of stigma to receive pollen. Then ovary, as you can see, I will draw a little bit more clear diagram over here. This is the ovary. Inside the ovary you will find ovules, right? Now these ovules, they are going to form seeds in a fruit, right? There are ovules. You have seen seeds in apple, the black seeds, right? So those black seeds, they are formed from ovule. So the future of ovule is seed, and this is ovary. The future of ovary, that means in a future the ovary will become fruit, right? It will become fruit. And ovules, as you can see, the ovules are inside the ovary. So the future of ovules is nothing but seeds, right? Now let's see the answer here. Part C is ovary contain ovule, develops into seeds, while ovary forms the fruit. Next question, name the parts A, B and C shown in the diagram and write their function. As you can see, part A is pollen grain, B stigma, C, what is C? It is pollen tube, and D, this is the middle one. Okay, I'll explain you. This is present in the ovary, and this is what is D, right? So the middle one is nothing but female cell or egg, right? So list two reasons for the appearance of variations among the progeny formed by sexual reproduction. We know that sexual reproduction is very helpful for the variation, okay, for the evolution. Okay, this is the basic of evolution, sexual reproduction. Now let's see the answer. A is pollen grain. B, pollen grain reaches part B, that is stigma, by the process of pollination. We know that what is the pollination process? Pollination is the process of transfer of pollen grain from stamen to stigma, or from anther to stigma. C is a pollen tube. It allows the passage of male gametes to reach the ovary, having female gamete for fertilization. So through this pollen tube here, sperms, male gametes will go and reach to the ovary, right? We know that in male gamete there are two male gametes and one more is there, which is a tube cell, right? The first one is a tube cell, and what is, as you can make out from the name, tube means it is going to form a tube throughout the style, so that the other two male gametes, okay, other two male gamete will come and enter in the ovary, okay, and finally one male gamete, okay, will fertilize the egg, and the other male gamete will fertilize the polar nuclei, right? That is why we call it double fertilization. Part D is a male gamete, or the egg cell form zygote after fertilization. Okay, now meiosis, or you say meiosis, crossing over during meiosis produces new genetic combination, right? So that is why this is responsible for the variation, because there is a crossing over of chromosomes. In this type of crossing over of chromosome, in this process, there are different characters which are from the male and the female, right? They get crossed over and the different genes get mixed together, and so the progeny is different from its parents. Now fertilization, it is a random fertilization of male and female gamete. So this also adds into genetic variation. So two processes are there. One is meiosis and other one is fertilization, which is also very random. Okay, so that is why we can see there are variation in the progeny, and this leads to evolution. Draw a diagram of a human female reproductive system and label the part, right? So I'll just draw a rough diagram over here. Here, okay. The fallopian tube, this is uterus, cervix and vagina, right? And the uterus walls are thickened. Uterus wall are also known as endometrium or uterine wall, right? It is thickened, fine. And there is a opening over here. This is called cervix, and this is a vagina, which is also known as birth canal, right? Here you will find ovaries, and these ovaries are attached to the walls by a ligament, right? And there over at the end of this fallopian tube, you have to draw a finger-like projection, that is fimbriae, which helps to collect egg, right? So I will draw an egg of blue color over here. This is an egg, okay, this egg, and we know that in every alternate month egg is released by the alternate ovaries. So this is a rough diagram of female reproductive system. Female reproductive system is a very important, you can see here, yes, it is a fallopian tube. Here is a fallopian tube, ovary, right, and uterus, cervix and vagina. Now draw a diagram of a human female reproductive system and label these parts. You are supposed to label that produces egg. Which part produces egg? We know ovary produces egg. So this is ovary which produces egg, right? Now coming to the next question, where the fusion of egg and sperms takes place? It takes place in a fallopian tube. Fusion of egg and sperms takes place in a fallopian tube. So, okay, sperm, I'll make it green color sperm, right? So fusion of sperm and egg takes place in fallopian tube. Next is where zygote is implanted. So zygote is implanted in the uterine wall. Over here zygote is implanted. So this is a zygote. Now what is a zygote? Zygote is an organism which is formed after the fusion of male and female gametes, that is sperm and ovum. Okay, now let's see the answer here. The female, right? The human female reproductive system which produces egg is ovary, and human female reproductive system where the fusion take fallopian tube, and human female reproductive system where zygote is implanted uterus. The diagram is given aside. You have to draw this diagram. And what will happen to human egg when it is not fertilized? So we know that when the human egg is not fertilized, then the thick and the soft inner lining, so this is the thick and the soft inner lining, okay, this will come out, okay, and with that blood will also come out, mucus will also come out, and the dead egg is also will also come out. So this process is known as menstruation. Okay, it occurs when sperms are not available in the female body, right, and it comes out in bleeding form. Coming to the next, given below is the diagram of reproductive system. Now this is a male reproductive system. Name the system. Yes, it is a male reproductive system. Male reproductive system. Clear, student? Name the part labeled as A to I. So you can see A. This is A. Where is it? I'll just change the color of pen. A, this one is seminal vesicle or seminal vesicle, and B is urinary bladder. C, here is prostate gland. D, penis. E, urethra. G, scrotum. F is testis. This is testis. And H is fallopian tube. Sorry, H is vas deferens, not fallopian tube. Vas deferens. H is vas deferens. Okay. Now describe the function of the part C, D, E and F. Now C is what is a prostate gland. So it secretes 20 to 30% of semen, which is essential for the mobility of the sperm. Okay, the secretion of prostate, I can give you one more function of secretion of prostate gland. It secretes the fluid which neutralizes the acidic environment of vagina. So this secretion of prostate is alkaline in nature. Of course, it is essential for the mobility of the sperm also, right? Now coming to D, D is a penis, and obviously it helps to transfer sperm from male to the female vagina. Now E is urethra. It is a common passage. You have to write this very important keywords. Common passage for both sperm and urine. So the whole sentence is very important because it is filled with the keywords. Now coming to F, testes. Okay, it produces sperm and male sex organ testosterone. So this usually comes for 1 mark, and the whole diagram, this can come for 5 marks. Now give reason. Placenta is extremely essential for fetal development. We know that placenta is, here you can see the placenta, it is made up of a specialized tissue. Placenta is made up of specialized tissue which are present in the uterus. If this is the uterus, okay, so placenta will be present here. It is a disc-like structure which is attached to the uterine wall, right? And it is made up of specialized tissue which help in the transfer of nutrition from mother to child and the nutritional waste from child to mother, as well as oxygen from mother body to the child and from the child to the mother body. Instead of child, if you write fetus, that will be most appropriate. So this is the fetus over here. As you can see, this is what is placenta attached on the wall of uterus. Then blocking of vas deferens prevents pregnancy. Yes, because vas deferens is a passage of sperm, right? So if you block the vas deferens, how can we block the vas deferens? We have I have told you about vasectomy, right? So vas deferens, if this has been cut and tied, right? If this is a vas deferens, it has been cut and tied, definitely you are blocking the way of sperm. So when there is a no sperm, definitely the eggs won't get fertilized and the pregnancy can be avoided. Okay, wind act as a pollinating agent because pollen grains are very they are weightless, as you can say that, right? They are very light, and with wind they blow up and then they get settled over the stigma of another flower or the same flower of the same species. That is also very important, right? So pollinating agent, it acts as a pollinating agent which helps for the transfer of pollen from anther to stigma. Then use of condom prevent pregnancy. We know that condom is a mechanical barrier, right? So it prevent sperm to meet ova. So that is why it prevents pregnancy also, unwanted pregnancy. Blocking of fallopian tube prevents pregnancy. We know that fallopian tube is the site of fertilization, right? Fallopian tube, it is the site of fertilization where male gamete, that is sperm, fertilizes or fuses with the ovum. So if I block this fallopian tube, if I cut it and I tie it, if I block this fallopian tube, definitely fertilization won't take place and the pregnancy will be avoided. So these are the answers written over here. You can write down the answers here. So I'll just rub this, erase everything, and here you can write down the answer in your copy. So this is all about today's session. So practice today's topic, student, and write all the question answers in your portfolio, and thank you so much.